And here we are, the new Mazda 6. So if you've watched my previous Mazda videos that I've uploaded recently, you will probably know that I've only got this car for a short amount of time. And as you may be able to see, it is starting to get dark. It's autumn in the UK, therefore the days are shorter. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go for a quick drive. So this is the new Mazda 6. It's got a new engine, well, it's new to the UK at least. It's a 4-cylinder, 2.5 litre naturally aspirated petrol, which kicks out 194 horsepower with 258 newton meters of torque. This power is mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and you'll hit 62 miles per hour in just over 8 seconds, 8.1 to be precise, and you will continue to a top speed of 138 miles per hour. But how does it drive? Well, the performance is pretty strong. I won't lie, this 6-speed automatic isn't the greatest. It's not as smooth as you would want it to be, and when you pop it into sport mode, like I will do now, I find it hangs onto the revs a little bit too long, although that time that changed up quite quickly. But before I started filming, it was hanging on to revs a bit longer than I felt it needed to. But let's keep it in sport mode. And let's talk about the handling. It's got a good amount of grip, handles pretty well. There is a little bit of body roll as you go through corners, but there's a good amount of grip. The steering's got a decent weight to it. Actually, the steering for me feels pretty bang on. Could maybe be a little bit more direct, a little bit more responsive, but it works well enough for what it needs to do. The brakes are pretty strong. The brake pedal does feel just a tad spongy on your first initial dab, but as you depress it a little bit more, as you depress the brake pedal a little bit more, it does inspire you with more confidence. Not only is this engine new to the UK, but this is also the first UK Mazda to offer cylinder deactivation. So between speeds of 25 miles per hour and 50 miles per hour, this engine will operate purely on 2 cylinders for better fuel economy. Speaking of which, fuel economy on a combined run is 42.2 mpg. CO2 comes in at 153 grams per kilometre, meaning for the first year of VED, you'll be required to pay £515.
If you're looking for more fuel economy, take a look at the 150 horsepower variant of the 2.2 litre diesel. That's able to offer 64.2 mpg on a combined run and emits 117 grams per kilometre of CO2, meaning for the first year of VED, you'll need to pay £205. BIK for that engine is 28%, but for the 2.5 litre engine, it's 31%.
This engine, so far, I do find it to be a little bit shouty. Now, I know I've got it in sport mode, so probably a good idea for me to take it out. And yes, it does become a little more docile. Let's carry on talking about refinements, shall we? Noise and so forth. So, the new Mazda 6, Mazda has tried to make refinement better. So, for example, there's better insulation for noise, and it's also got a thicker floor. So, has it worked? Well, it's difficult for me to really say because I haven't driven the previous Mazda 6, but from what I can tell you driving this version right here, right now, refinement isn't too bad. This car is on pretty big alloys, therefore I do have a bit of tyre noise coming in. But wind noise isn't too bad. It's not the quietest car in the world, but I imagine you'll be able to drive this for a long distance and have no real complaints. The seats are very nice and comfortable. They're heated and ventilated, which is nice. It gives you a nice amount of creature comforts, of course. Now, it's worth noting that this new 2.5 litre engine is only available in this specific trim level, which is GT Sport Nav Plus. That is a bit of a mouthful, I'm sure you'll agree. So if you want this engine, you have to get it in this version, which incidentally is the range topping version. It's not what you'd call cheap, and it is more expensive compared to its rivals such as the Mondeo or the Insignia, although if you get an Insignia GSI, that starts at around £35,000, so I suppose it swings and roundabouts. It's also worth noting that this car is more expensive, well, starting price is more expensive than a Volkswagen Passat.
So what exactly do you get as part of the GT Sport Nav Plus specification? It starts from £30,795, and as you would expect, it comes with a lot of kit. So much so I now need to take a deep breath before I read it all out. Right, here we go. So you get 19-inch alloys, privacy glass, LED headlights, sunroof, front and rear parking sensors, 360-degree camera, automatic lights and wipers, adaptive cruise control, keyless entry, dual zone climate control, 8-inch touchscreen with DAB radio, Bluetooth and navigation, Bose sound system, electronically adjustable driver's seat, heated steering wheel, heated front and outer rear seats, ventilated seats and an active driving display. And breathe. In case this car's too expensive for you, you'll be pleased to know there are 3 other trim levels available. SEL Nav Plus starts from £23,195. SEL Lux Nav Plus, oh god, these trim levels are a mouthful, starts from £24,595, and Sport Nav Plus, which starts from £25,995.
So you may look at this car and think, well, nothing's changed on the outside. Yes, the styling changes are subtle, but if you look carefully, you can see them. So for example, the front fog lights have now moved from the bottom of the bumper and are now integrated into the main headlight cluster. This means that Mazda has been able to put air ducts at the bottom of the front bumper to give better aerodynamics. Clever stuff. The interior has also been given a spruce up, and it is quite a nice place to be. There are some cheaper materials here and there, so for example this little slidey bit that covers the cup holders. I know, slidey bit, it's a very technical term, I know. That does feel a little bit flimsy, a little bit cheap, but there are some premium materials in here. You've got these lovely leather seats. You've also got soft touch materials on the dash, all nice and spongy, and this is a pleasant place to be.
It'll also be a safe place to be, as the Mazda6 was recently awarded 5 stars from Euro NCAP. This is thanks to standard kit such as 6 airbags, autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist and speed limiter. Now if you're concerned about boot space, this car may not be the best choice as opposed to its rivals, because it offers 480 litres, which isn't bad, but it is a little bit behind its rivals. You can of course get this model in an estate version, which is called the Tourer, but in all honesty, the increase of capacity isn't as large as you may expect, because that offers 506 litres. Space in the back is a bit so-so as well. So for a taller passenger like myself, I've got a good amount of legroom, even when I'm sat behind a driving position set for me, but headroom is limited thanks to the coupe style swooping roofline. Tell you one feature I do like about this car, you've got this nice digital display in front of you. And what's really handy is this car has got traffic sign recognition, and you get a little red marker as a kind of visual aid to tell you where the speed limit is. Now you may think that's a bit pointless, but it is quite handy because it means that you can just see it in your peripheral vision. Mind you, this car does also have a head-up display, which again is very handy indeed. Now let's talk about the ride. It is a firm setup, which is good because it means this car offers better handling. But if you're looking for a saloon which will waft along in comfort, this may not be the car for you. Now, I'm not saying that this car is uncomfortable, because it's not. You've got these wonderful seats, which are very comfy, they're very squidgy and marshmallowy, but the ride can be fidgety. It's not too bad once you get up to speed.
But when I'm driving down roads like this, which to the Mazda 6's defence, this is a country road, therefore it's got a fair amount of undulations and it is a little bit beaten. But what I will say is the car can be a little bit bumpy and jiggly at lower speeds. But once you get it up to higher speeds on a nice smooth road, you should have no complaints whatsoever. Anyway, the light is fading. You probably can't even see him anymore. So it's probably about time I finish this video. So I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.